It's Ty Scott with a 16.790.
Matthew Schultz, Blake Davis are on the front row. PJ Jacobson, Jake Lewis, and Kayla Yakov, round 2. Cam Peterson, Hobbs, Alexander, Vandenbroek, Sneed, and Hayes there, a little bit further back. Torrin Collins, Dave Anthony Pegram. That's right, Larry Pegram. Greg, he had some problems yesterday we'll get to in a minute with, you saw Enriquez, Nassani, and Omen. Soltis, Jansen, Horney, Monk. Omen there is in row 8. And 24th back, we got Vandal, Mags, Bean, and Bittner.
All right, talking's over. It's time to get racing. Here we go. Clutches are out. Off to turn 1 we go. And it looks like the 70 of Ty Scott didn't get the jackrabbit start he wanted, but it's going to be the 22 of Blake Davis who leads us in. And so it's a couple of stracks at Kayla Yakov in 3rd spot. That's the start that she wanted, and she's got it. Now it's a question of what's going to happen down into turn number 5. Here's turn 3. Another
PJ
long
Jacobson
straightaway.
is way back, Greg. He's probably in 8th or 9th place. Josh Hayes just stuffed it up underneath PJ going down into turn 3. Looks like PJ fired his way back past the number 4, and he's deep in the draft right now. Jake Lewis. Jake Lewis is another guy that I expected to be a little bit closer, and he is this little bit closer today. And he said some of the stuff that we saw from the Ducatis and him not being able to get as close was just because he couldn't put the bike exactly where he wanted to do it. As you see Blake Davis, his teammate, go through and take the lead as they run down into turn 1. Also, Camp Pete doing what he can to catch back up. Ty Scott did make his way past Kayla, and now you see PJ just in the back. He's got by Jake Lewis, who is also on the tail end of this lead group.
Hey folks, play MotoAmerica for cash. Superbike Baggers and Supersport Series are now live on top sportbooks and DFS platforms. Scan the flow code or visit nxtbets.com/playma to see what's available in your location. Sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now.
PJ goes down the inside of Kayla as he comes out through turn 5. So he was so tight that he tried to get on the gas a little bit early, got shot up out of the seat. You see him give his teammate a bit of a wave. This could help Kayla try to bridge that gap back, because so far this race looks a lot like yesterday with one exception. We got the 85 and Jake Lewis coming to the party. Just back there, you see Torrin Collins battling with Josh Hayes as now Jake Lewis goes up the inside. He's going to run wide. There's the gap. Those are the gaps that you try not to make. And of course,
45 machine. So up
Camp's
front,
going up the inside,
there he goes.
And wide, and wide.
Oh, boy. He's going to have to do a lot of work to do. The Celtic Economy Lube Tire Warhorse HSBK Ducati rider has got some work to do.
Yeah, that's just a mistake from Cam early here, going down into Canada corner. Very difficult to pick out your braking markers going down into Canada corner. And if you just miss it by a little bit, it gets real narrow down there. Cam will be fine, though. He still hasn't lost touch. He'll be able to get in the draft to Ty Scott, and that'll help him move forward. He was very confident this morning when I chatted with him. He had 7 stitches put into his small finger yesterday, but he looked healthy and fine. Hannah. So we'll see if he can, and Kayla can get up there as well. We'll see.
Cameron Peterson on that Ducati. The way that they're balanced, we know the Ducati has a little bit more than the Yamaha on the top end, but lead change again. And the 22 goes to the front, and Jay, you called it, Cameron Peterson now, a 2:16.589. Wow.
But he's going to actually help PJ Jacobson in a minute, because PJ is going to be able to draft the number 70 here fairly soon. PJ got a really bad start, so if we get a replay of that start, it'll be interesting to see where he was. Now Cam Peterson slots himself in the 2nd spot, and he's going to be looking to take the lead. Very, very confident guy this morning when I spoke with him.
Yeah, and Ty Scott just did a 2:16.835 on that lap. And when I was speaking with him earlier today, he said, in yesterday's race, I felt confident I could uncork a high 16 at any time. So he's definitely got that now in his back pocket, the 16.835. So this lead group tightened up to 4, and PJ hanging tight as well back there on the 15 machine on the Ray Hall Ducati Moto with Expel Panigale V2 by Ducati.
I mean, Greg, imagine having somebody with Xavi Forza's experience as your crew chief. It's got to give you such a boost of confidence to know that the guy that's doing it is a former champion not that long ago, still testing for the Bimota Kawasaki team over in Europe, so he's still very active. And then you get to pick his brain and his knowledge of what he knows to help you set up your motorcycle. So for Blake Davis, he's kind of got the best of both worlds. Good team, good bike, and a good crew chief.
And he just took over the lead. And by the way, talk about that Sector 4 that Hannah was talking about, and Matthew Schultz just went 31.609 for the fastest Sector 4 split of the race so far. But his teammate Blake Davis obviously making some strides in Sector 4. That last sector doing a 31.653, his personal best. Down into turn 5 they go. Blake Davis up the inside. That's lead change number 7 so far in this race. If you've never been here, that is quite the run.
See Matthew there?
Yep.
He's just sitting up.
He's sitting up.
He's just sitting up. He's like, I'll let these two guys go back and forth. Matthew had the perfect opportunity to draft if he would wanted to. Another pass for the lead. Having a look at things, and you can see he's just drawing away from PJ as well now. That third sector time should pop up as Cam Peterson now redrafts. How many is that, Greg?
10 lead changes, 10. And here's number 11.
Goes right back.
And the question really for a guy like Ty Scott is, now Cameron Peterson goes back to the front as here comes Ty Scott. Is he going to make a move? No, he's just fanning out.
Yeah.
Is how much work. You look at Matthew Schultz as Ty Scott goes fastest lap of the race, 2:16.408 on the back of a very strong Sector 3 you were talking about, but a Sector 4 best of the race time at a 31.575. So it looks like Ty Scott may have that same type of situation he was talking about yesterday, that he can uncork the time he needs whenever he needs it. And of course, the riders in front of him don't know this is going on because all eyes forward for those
I talked
riders.
to Matthew Schultz about an hour or so before the race or something like that. So Josh Hayes runs wide and makes a small mistake down at the end of that back straightaway in turn 5. So that's going to probably eliminate Josh from that big battle that's going on for 7th place right now. So right now, Greg, you know, not a lot of riders maybe think about it, but when you get down to towards the end of these races and you see Cam Peterson pulls out of the draft and would get credit with leading that lap right there, if a red flag or something came out, Cam would be able to get that win.
At least from our perspective, Jason, that's 15 lead changes. There might be more and we went away, but that's what I know of anyway. And so this is just kind of that cat and mouse game that's going on as Cameron Peterson goes for pass number 16 in Motovation Supersport.
Blake just got out on the curbing a little bit there, got a tiny little bit of wheel spin, and it was enough to let Cam drop alongside of him again through turn, going down into turn 8. Now, I feel like for Cam Peterson, both these two at the front are both hungry for a victory. And we talked a lot, as you see Blake Davis. Greg's marking on his paper again here. As you see, these two guys here, 3 really. Ty Scott last year was there. He didn't win a race here, but really it's been the Matthew Schultz, PJ Jacobsen show. And Cam Peterson now on this Ducati, his first 2 positions, it's going to get interesting. And now you see Matthew head down, no sitting up anymore. So as they head down into turn 5, we're going to have 4 riders, and PJ looks like he's trying to look at so much bike control right there from PJ. He probably got pulled in there by 3 different guys. He had to go down a little bit tighter to give himself a little real estate to get the number 19 slowed down. What's Cam doing? Nope, he's holding back. Matthew's not, though. Matthew feels like he can draft his teammate at the line, so he positions himself up into 2nd. I don't think Ty Scott's going to be able to play a factor in the front as far as winning the race. And right now, even PJ looks a little far back. Matthew dives down the inside of his teammate.
Gold's thinking he can win it from the lead.
Wide.
He's wide. He's going to be still in a really good position if he can get on the gas. But here comes Cameron Peterson. Up the front straightaway comes the 22 of Blake Davis. Has he done enough? And yes, Blake Davis takes victory from the front.
There you go.
What a move from Blake Davis.
I was surprised to see Matthew do what he did there in the last corner, and the reason that he did it is because he didn't think he could win from drafting, so he thought maybe if I can win going to the front. I think that if he could have got the bike slowed down a little bit more at the apex and made everybody check up, could have been his plan. In a sense, though, Greg, it really cost Matthew because he ends up finishing 4th and losing an extra few points to his title rival, PJ Jacobsen.
Nearly 0.2 of a second, 0.195 the margin of victory. And Matthew Schultz, doing what he thought he needed to do, but he gets relegated back to 4th after that draft and pass from Cam Peterson.
Certainly right in that. The fact that there was more pace to find, very similar weather conditions, do you think that was just a factor of not having that first qualifying session?
Here's a look at the results. So it's Blake Davis by that 0.195 over Cam P. PJ in 3rd. Schultz, Ty Scott, Yakov Lewis, Anthony Pegram, and Collins.